most be seen. Mrs. Lien, one of my fellow nurses, had her head split open and died. 2 children of hers are left orphans. Americans have smashed our happy life. Our indignation is beyond description.
Tối lại những cái lời mà tôi thầy có thể nói, mỗi khi nói đến lại là tôi thấy không làm răng mà quên được. Bên cạnh đó là có cái chị Liên.
Tying, a boy of 14 years, who has lost one of his arms, says, I was blown over by a bomb blast while waiting for my brother for treatment that day. Coming to myself, I found one of my arms gone, and my brother had been killed there. The hospital building was clearly marked with a large red cross. Its destruction could not have been by mistake. In carrying on their criminal war of mass destruction, America is using supersonic jet planes of the latest type. But above all, they are using the most criminal weapons of extermination, anti-personnel bombs forbidden by international law. We collected and examined different kinds of weapons in the bombed areas. The chemicals used include yellow phosphor, poison gases, herbicides, and defoliators. Mr. Phan Song Thuyen, chairman of the Committee for Investigation of War Crimes of Quang Binh Province, showed that America is making Vietnam a proving ground for their new weapons in this Quang Binh Province, including the demilitarized zone on the 17th parallel. A machine gun ball, the fuse of a napalm bomb, a fuse from a CBU, napalm cinders scraped off the wall of Dong Hoi Hospital. As part of their strategy, U.S. planes dropped transistor radios. On both the case and on its dry cells, the name of Hitachi of Japan can be read. Forged money, pencils, ballpoint pens and erasers were dropped for the same purpose. Tombow, ballpoint pen, made in Japan. Here we see a pineapple bomb manufactured specifically for the extermination of people. It weighs 20 pounds. When dropped, its flanges open and it explodes on touching the ground. On detonation, about 250 small steel pellets are scattered and kill in 50 feet. This is the ball bomb, the canister bomb unit, or CBU. It is the latest type. An improvement on the pineapple bomb, more effective for killing and maiming. It weighs about a pound. 300 small steel pellets are in its shell. These kill over a range of 10 meters. The ball explodes on landing. The parent bomb carrying these holds 300 to 600 small bombs. It separates into 2 pieces while falling, and ball bombs scatter over a wide area covering about 600 feet and 3,000 feet in the direction of flight. The ball bomb cannot destroy military facilities. It is a weapon designed solely for the purpose of mass murder. In the company of the international investigation team sent by Bertrand Russell, we listened to the victims of ball bombs in the city of Vinh Yên. 4 children of Mrs. Vinh Thi Huey, who stayed at home, were killed. An iron kettle and a vacuum bottle riddled with steel pellets. This city of Vinh Yên was the testing ground for the mass use of these ball bombs. The penetration of a steel pellet is enough for a single shot to prove fatal. Although the wound is small, the pellet causes complex injury inside the body. It can be found only by X-ray. It is impossible for mass-produced victims to be treated quickly. This shows the back of a victim who received ball bomb wounds all over his body. Here we see a patient undergoing surgical treatment. The dark dots on these fingers are caused by a CBU bomb. There is no doubt that the ball bomb is a weapon of mass destruction, strictly forbidden by international law. In the rural areas of Vietnam City, we were able to confirm the mass use of ball bombs and their vast spread of destruction. The white marks on the field show where each of the ball bombs fell. Here we see the countless shot holes made by small steel pellets on the farmhouse wall. The Dong Hoi Hospital was attacked 13 times with napalm bombs, forbidden by international law. We confirmed the use of napalm bombs by the cinders on the wall of the hospital, and we brought some of these back with us. Napalm burns with terrific heat of more than 1,000 degrees centigrade, and the death rate from it is very high. Now the even more terrible super napalm is being used. That is, napalm mixed with yellow phosphorus. The poison of yellow phosphorus penetrates the skin and causes deadly functional disorders. These keloid scars of napalm are no different from those suffered by the Hiroshima victims of the United States atom bomb. A victim of napalm in South Vietnam. This man's arm not only has keloids, but is actually welded to his body. The mission of the National Front for Liberation of South Vietnam in Hanoi. Mr. Nguyen Van Thien, head of the mission, talks about the present situation in South Vietnam. American imperialists and their puppet government are guilty of every kind of war crime, such as scorched earth operation, chemical warfare, forced concentration of the inhabitants into so-called strategic hamlets, experiments with new types of death weapons, and so on. Here is the evidence of Miss Chan Thi Lee. She is a victim of American aggression in the South and is now receiving medical treatment in the North. She says, "When I was 18, I was arrested 3 times and cruelly tortured for 3 years for no other reason than that I was for a united election as stipulated in the Geneva Agreements. Finally, I was thrown out as a corpse in the field. Before I went to prison, I weighed 256 pounds, but when I was thrown out, my weight was only 122 pounds. It is now 7 years since then, but both inside and outside of my